Hello, everybody, and welcome to this kind of unrehearsed stream where I will explain how we are moving Odir from the classic Spark to the modern Spark, which was just released. I'm happy that you're all here. We're also going to do this in a little bit of an unstructured way, I guess. If you have any questions along the way, just let me know. And yeah, I'll try to keep an eye on the chat for that. With that being said, let's share my screen. I'm just doing a little bit of window management here, doing this on the side. Share the screen. Excuse me, like that. And sharing. And here we go. Where to start? Let me hide this. I got a couple of things that I want to show you. I've made a little list here. And yeah, let's start explaining some stuff. So for those that don't know it, I've built together with a buddy, a service called Odir, which is an uptime monitoring service. And unlike most competitors, this one doesn't only take a look at your homepage, but it actually crawls your entire website. And when anything is wrong with any of the pages, when we find a broken link or some mixed content, then we'll send you a notification. And of course, you also get a notification when your site is down. We monitor the certificates. We even do performance monitoring. We can do scheduled jobs. And we also offer status pages. If you want to see an example of a status page, maybe a cool one is status.laravel.com. And even though it's on Laravel, this page is actually hosted by Odir. And this is like a nice way for your customers to see if everything is up and running and if everything was stable in the past few days. Is there a huge echo here? Oh, nee, never mind, it was me. Okay. So this application, it actually uses Spark. Let me log into the what I now call the classic version of our application. So this is Odir running locally with the old Spark in it. So I'm already logged in. We have some sites here that are seeded. And if I open up the menu, then we have a couple of screens here, and let's go to the theme screen. And yeah, these are just the screens that were provided by the old Spark integration. Also the API access stuff, you can add some things here. And this is basically what the old Spark was giving us. And these are basically all Vue components that are here. So in the directory with JavaScript of this application, you'll find the JavaScript that powers these screens. Now, maybe before we dive into how we move to the new Spark, maybe I should say a few words on why we did want to move to the new Spark. Of course, I have a tendency of wanting to use the latest and greatest versions of stuff, because I think that those are the best maintained one, because probably a creator of a package or a piece of software just is the most enthusiastic about the latest version. But in this case, there is also a couple of other reasons. Of course, I want to be on the latest version, but there's a little bit more than that. I see here that somebody is complaining that the main screen is so small to see. It's 1080. It's like my default resolution. I hope you can make it a little bit bigger from your side. So why did we want to move to the new Spark? Well, I think that inherently the idea behind the new Spark is much better than the old Spark. So in the old Spark, it was basically like a template of your whole application where you build upon. So the old Spark, it provided team management, it provided API tokens, it provided billing management, of course, and it was all like integrated in that application. And what I like about the new Spark is that it's just like a billing portal. It's something really separate, functionally speaking, in your site, which makes it a much lighter concept. And I'm talking about moving from the old Stripe to the new Stripe. But what we've also done is for the team functionality and generation of API tokens, we migrated to Jetstream and the underlying packages like Sanctum. And yeah, much like that, the new Spark has like a much smaller functionality. The Jetstream integration nicely plays into that because the old Spark had team functionality. New Spark doesn't have that anymore, but now the Spark the Jetstream component takes care of that. And luckily, it's very easy to in new Spark say, hey, this is my billable. And that billable, in our case, if you use Jetstream, that is like Jetstream's team model. And I like that these functionalities from team and from the billing that are like separate components. In my mind, that's much more lightweighter than having like one big package like old Spark was with all the functionality in it. Another, maybe a final reason why we did want to move to the new Spark is because in the old Spark, you get some UI like we're taking a look at now, and that UI is built with Vue. Now, if you take a look, I think it's on Classic Spark. Wait, Laravel or Spark Laravel.com. If we go to Classic Spark, I think this is like the biggest lie in the Laravel ecosystem documentation. Sure, Vue the future when this was written, but here, want a different JavaScript framework to power your application, you can do that too. Well, I don't think this is correct. I think if you try to do this, you get the same feeling as being pulled apart by horses. It's something, I think very hard to do in old Spark. And in the new Spark, it's all separate. So in your main application, you can just use whatever front-end technology we want. And at Odeer, we've embraced Livewire. This, for instance, is a Livewire component that updates itself when like checks are happening. These things through polling will update themselves. And I've lost my thread a little bit. And with Jetstream comes in two flavors. There's like a Vue flavor, but there's also a Livewire flavor. And by moving to Jetstream and new Spark, we can just have Livewire everywhere. Now, let me take a look at the new Odeer. So this is the version of Odeer where we use the new Spark in. So yeah, this one is empty. We haven't seeded any sites yet. But if we go to like manage team, for instance, then you see that we have here the Jetstream views, and this is all Livewire, and there's like basically no view left on anywhere on our site. And this makes maintaining Odr much more easy, because there's like just one front-end technology now and not a mix between Vue and Livewire. I hope that's a little bit clear. Okay, let's maybe first discuss how I did like the migration part, and I'm not going to talk about it like in too many details, because I think that every Spark application or all Spark application is a little bit different. But what I did is basically I made a copy of the repo to another directory, and I've made like a classic branch, and that is the one that you're seeing here. So I always had like a reference point. This is how the old code base looked like. I think if we go to the terminal, we can see that. So if I go to Odr Classic, then here we have the the old code base. And if I go to Odr here, Odr Classic, but the regular one, then you see that we are here on the Spark branch. And this is basically the master branch of the same application, but I've actually put it in another directory so I can host them at the same time, so I don't need to switch branches if I want to compare old and new stuff. That's like the first thing I did, just create the application on another directory so you can easily compare stuff. And then I basically start ripping out the old Spark stuff. So I just downright deleted all the JavaScript of the components of all the Vue components and all the controllers around these screens. I just downright removed it, deinstalled the package, and installed Jetstream and Spark in it. Now, the new Spark has or I should say, the old Spark stores information around team subscriptions in a kind of way. And in Jetstream and new Spark, it's sort of the same, but they're like different tables, and they're like different different column names. So what I had to do then is make like migrations to move the old database scheme and its data to the new scheme. And to do that, I needed to compare how the old app was working with the new app. And to work with, I had to get the new Jetstream and Spark to get to know them. I've created actually another application. How did I call it? I think Spark Test. And that is basically a vanilla Laravel application where I just installed Jetstream and Spark in to see how they store stuff in the database. Now, this application, I've open sourced it. It's a very simple application. I think it's on GitHub. Oh dear, Spark Test. This is a public repo, so here you can see the application. And if everything's correct, then this is that application. And if we log in here, check spatie.be/password. Then we have like the default stuff. And here we have the default screens. And what I did was I just started toying around with all of these screens. And I take a look at how this is stored in the database. Now the new Spark screen is here as well. So if I go to billing, you can see that we have the billing set up here. And I really want to see how Spark stored subscriptions in the database. So I wanted to make like a real subscription to know what data gets written where. So let me show you like a neat way to do that. So I'm going to open up this application. So it's Spark Test. Let's open up PHP Storm. Hopefully that goes a little bit fast. It should. Okay. And what I did is I defined some products in my Stripe environment. So I'm using the Stripe version of Spark. And I defined like a product here that I can use. I'm not going to go into much details of what you can configure here. This is all covered in the Spark installation guides. But in order to like make a real subscription, we need to handle like Stripe's webhooks, because how does Spark work under the hood? If you subscribe something to something here, then it will make an API call to Stripe to handle a payment, and Stripe confirms that the payment was correct by sending a webhook back. So sending up webhooks, there are a couple of solutions for that, like ngrok. But I think that the easiest one in this case is actually use Stripe CLI. So Stripe has like a beautiful CLI tool. Let me just pull it up. Stripe CLI, there we go. And this tool, it can also help you testing webhooks without any configuration at all. It works pretty good. When I use it for the first time, it just worked for the first time. Now, if that tool is installed, how do you invoke it? It's pretty simple, and I've actually added something here to my Composer JSON to do that. I've added a script called listen Stripe, and that just calls the Stripe CLI and listen, and the listen command. So it starts listening for webhooks, and then it says we are going to forward each call that we get, or each webhook that we get, to this endpoint. And this is how you can make like a test subscription in Stripe itself, so, or in Spark itself. So let's take a look if that is working. So I'm going to do Composer listen Stripe. Shows here a webhook secret, but it's a test one, so you're nothing with that. It's all in test environment. If I subscribe here, I can put in a card number, and it's that well-known 4242. Just keep on smashing that. Belgium, subscribe. And if everything is good, you see here in the terminal that there are Stripe hooks being forwarded. We see here 200, so everything is charged well. And you can see that now we are on a plan in Stripe. If we take a look at the database, I'm using Valet. Here I'm going to go to Spark test. And here we can see that data is written in this way. And using this information, I just basically compared at which tables are needed, which data is written where, and I've written migrations to move the old data to the new data. And I've even put in those migrations in a gist here. So in this gist, let me just put it in the chat here. You basically see all the migrations from an old Spark application to a new Spark application, and it also takes care of migrating data. So if there are team users with roles, they need to be recreated in a certain way. Subscriptions need to be moved from one table to the other. That's somewhere that happens here, I think. Yeah, here we are going to go to each team subscription. That's why what's a team subscription data. We're going to move it to the subscription data, and I've put this like in separate migrations. And the data migration always happens in a separate migration file, which means that there are like certain steps that you can complete. If everything here would be in one migration, the migration would fail, yeah, then you don't know where you're at. But now you know that if this this migration succeeds and this one fails, you know, hey, this one is already done. These are by using separate migration files, you get like these kind of checkpoints. Now, I'm not saying that you have to use migrations. You can also do this with a command or something like that. But I think like migrations are like a nice thing to do. I think if everything goes well, when we put this live, then basically we don't need to do anything. It's just running these migrations like usual, and we're good. But yeah, like I've said, you can go about this in any way that that you want. So yeah, that is how I updated the database. Let's take a look at my list at other things that I want to cover. Yeah, the billing. Yeah, the billing portal itself. So you might have noticed that the billing portal itself in the test application, let's take a look at it. Billing. It's really a different kind of layout as the rest of the app, and I think that is pretty normal because Spark is designed as like a separate page, as like a portal, something that is outside of your regular application where people can manage their billing. And I think for most application that is fine, and it's certainly a nice idea to have it really separate, so that yeah, it doesn't get in the way of your regular application. But I think that it is nice to have customers have like a same experience, because here you can see like we're really in something else. But I want the Odere customers not to get that feeling that they're suddenly transported in another application. And let's take a look at how the billing page of the upgraded app looks like. And you can see that it looks much like the same. We still have our little menu here. If I go to manage SPACI, we are here, and here we're in billing. And I think most customers don't even notice that they're like in really another part of the application, in another kind of portal. This, to me, it feels like it's part of the website. Let's see. As somebody complains, it's pretty hard to see the code. Okay, wait a minute. I will adjust my resolution a little bit, because if multiple people are start to complain, then I think then I should do something about it. Yeah. I don't know if StreamYard handles a resolution change well. So if anybody of you can let me know if this is better, maybe add some code here. I hope this is more readable. Let's see. You could call each instead of chunk. Yeah, I could do that. Each on build will be chunked. Yeah, that's maybe something. That's a good suggestion. Again, I will take a look at this. The webcam is black now. Okay, wait. Wait, let's fix that. I got like a Logitech helper here. Let me move it to the side and turn on the lights again. Here I am in the flesh. There we go. All right, sorry for that little hiccup. Where were we? Yeah, the billing portal. So you see that it's really in like the same style, and it's actually pretty easy to get it in the same style. Let me show you what I've done. First, maybe let's go to the test site and test billing. And you can see that in the default application, or in the default Spark window, we have this sidebar, and actually we don't need any of these, because all this information you're signed in as this, And the team name, it's already displayed at more logical places of my application. So we need to hide this. And hiding this is actually pretty simple. There's like a div, there's like an ID on this div sidebar, which means that with CSS you can just hide it. And that is basically what I've done. So let me open up the new Spark. So the new Odir with the new Spark. Sorry about that. And let's maybe go to how is the portal called? I'll just navigate to it because I don't know by heart how the file is called. So if you publish Stripes or Spark's views, it's in views, vendor, Spark, of course, here app. And here you can see that I just added like style, selected ID sidebar and said, yeah, don't display it. That that bar on top of the billing screen, I've basically just copied some HTML from the rest of our application over to this view as well. You can see it here. That here's the nav bar include, and here's the HTML for that little title bar beneath it. I also added that to this view. I also included, I think, the CSS here from my main application, so it follows the same styles. And that is basically all that you need to do to to style this page. And yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward to do this. Okay, let's take a look at something else. Maybe customizing these screens. Let's maybe go to the classic app first. So classic app, this is Odir with classic Spark. If we go to the theme profile here, then you can see that there were some customizations that I've made, namely here the business hours. And you can see here that a user can define like a business hour schedule for their team. And these hours, they will be used when snoozing notifications until the next workday. That's a feature that we added recently. So when you get like notified that a site is down, then Odir will actually notify you every hour, like, hey, your site is down, your site is down. But maybe if it's not an important site, then it can wait until like the next workday, and then you can snooze notifications until the next workday. And here you can define like when your business is open. So this is a modification that was made on the view component that renders this view. Now, I've also added that view here. Here you can see the business hours, but in the Jetstream views, adding something like this is laughably easy. Let me show it to you. So I'm going to go to the view that renders that page. So by I think it's not this one, but it's here, Teams, yeah. So by default, when you install Jetstream, the views will be published in your views directory. And yeah, you can have like the thought, why? Oh, sorry, my alarm goes off. You can think that, yeah, why does it do this by default? Well, Jetstream assumes that if you install it, that you're like the owner of the code because you want to modify it, and that's why it's there by default. So that screen that I showed you, Team Show here, that is just Teams Show, and here you can see that the view is actually pretty easy to understand. We just include some Livewire components here. And basically what I have done is just adding another Livewire component here, that business hours component. So the vanilla view is just without this. And I've just added this. So I'm rendering another Livewire component. and just rendering it conditionally is also very easy. So people can only edit the business hours if they have access to update the theme, and that's basically it. I don't know if it's worth if we take a look at this Livewire component. It's basically just a regular Livewire component. We just have like the properties that we're setting here. It's a very small one. Yeah, what I want to say is that you can just do anything you want in these views. Maybe we can also take a look maybe at the view itself here. Here you can see that to have a panel like this one, you can just use some Jetstream components. So here for that entire section, you can use like that form section here. You can have a title and a description, and it will be rendered beautifully here next to the panel. And then we have a slot with a name form where you can just render anything you like. We have like an action form here, and that's basically all there is to it. So yeah, it's pretty easy. What are we going to take a look at next? Maybe also now that we're talking about like view components, I should also talk about reusing some of the view components. So how am I going to start with this one? Yeah, maybe here in the classic Spark. So we're using like the old Spark version here. So in this version of the application, when you want to delete stuff, like for instance, a site, let's remove the site here, you get like this dialog, and this is basically reusing like a modal that was provided by Spark. This is also a modal that is powered by a view component, but I've said that we've removed all view components here. So we needed to have like a new modal that we can use everywhere in our app. I think that modal is also used, I think, when you want to delete a theme or something. First create a theme before you can delete it. Yeah, here you see the same modal. And by default, Jetstream also comes with a modal. So here we have the lead theme. This is this is just a straight up Jetstream view. If I click on it, you see this beautiful modal. And wouldn't it be nice if I could use that modal also on other places in my own application? And I've done just that. Let me first show it to you before I explain how we did that. So let's maybe create a site first. Unlock that. What's this? Yeah, I've got a field too much, I think. I was toying around with a new package in this one, and I didn't complete it yet, so I need to debug this little bugger first. But I guess it will be pretty easy. It's just removing that column for now. I already removed it, but I forgot to migrate. Maybe it's just that. Right? Yeah, that's the new package. Yeah, maybe I can also show you the new package. I've released it earlier today. It's called Prefixed IDs. You know that when you're working with Stripe, every ID is prefixed, so you know where to use it. So this is like a test token from a test environment. You're not going to confuse this with like a customer ID or an invoice ID or something else. This package makes it very easy to generate such IDs for Laravel applications as well. And it can also, for any given prefixed ID, give you like the right model back. So that's a little a little package, and I'm planning to add that to the Odir use that in the Odir API to also have like prefix IDs everywhere. André Sardo says it's amazing. Thank you. In a way, it obfuscates the ID as well, right? Well, the ID isn't used as a basis here. It's really a separate field with another generated value in it. The package is actually very simple. The heart of it is that it's just a trait. You can see here somewhere that there's something being generated. I thought it was like a UID get unique part. My eye doesn't fall. Here, of course. Unique part, we just have like a UID and we replace all the things here. So that's it's just a random extra string that's completely separate from your ID. Okay, that was all like a sidestep because I had to field too much in here. So let me log in again. We're in Odir tests. That's the right application, yeah. Let's log in. Okay. And now I can, now I have some sites already. That's also good. If I go to settings, remove, and delete site, you can see that we use like the same modal as we just saw on that Jetstream thing. So let's take a look at how we accomplish this. And spoiler, it will not be that hard. So let's hunt down the right view for this one. So resources, views, I guess application settings. Settings again, delete. And here you can see that it is just another Livewire component, namely one named delete site. So let's go to that component. Maybe the view first in this case. Yeah, and here you can see that we use some Jetstream components as well. So this is what you see on the page, what is in here. So that delete site here, that's this one. So it's delete site. Let me just add some things here so you feel like, hey, we're there. And it already uses like a Jetstream component, XJetDanger button, which makes it look like this one. And here inside this component, you can see that we have like that confirmation modal here. And I guess here, if we click this button, we are going to toggle on a Livewire property called confirming. And if confirming is on, we are going to display this. So we have that modal here. You can see that modal has a slot of title. It goes there. It has a slot of content. It goes there. And here we have two buttons to do that. So all of this HTML is already taken care of by Jetstream. We just piggyback on it. Let's maybe also take a look at the component itself. What's the easiest way to go to there? I think maybe here, and then delete site, and then I can click the component here. And let's take a look at the structure itself. And here you can see that we have that delete site component. And the only reason why we have like a Livewire component here is because we have, let me go back to the right view, is we have like this property here that we're toggling. And that property that lives on the component itself. So that's a little piece of state. But you can see here that we actually have some other delete confirmations going on. We have delete site, but we also have like delete status page. So if I go to the status pages and where is the deletion here, delete status page, you can see that we use like the same dialog here. So we have multiple of those components, but they all extend a base component, which I've called confirm component. And it's very easy. We just have a confirming property that's by default false because we don't want to see the dialog by default. And we have a method here that should be implemented. And that's basically what should happen when you press that confirm. And then we're just going to delete the site and redirect to the right page. Let's see. Since Livewire 2, you don't need the mount function, and if the public property is type hinted, well, let's try it. Okay, we're just going to do site. I think I tried it and I messed up, and then I went back to the old way. But let's see if this works. This is the status page. Maybe also just do it with the status page. So thanks for that tip, Adrian. We're going to try it out now live. So I'm going to remove the mounts at status page. And let's see if this would work. I don't need to refresh, I think, but I'll do it anyway. And yeah, that still works. And the deletion works, so that's pretty good. So I'm going to do that for the other ones as well. And here I hear there was no property to add. Here there are two. I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to do the rest later. But this is already like a good modification, I think. Felix seems to have a question. May I ask where you store your Livewire views? Inside the resource view Livewire folder or in custom folders? Let me show you. So the lead site, this is one. And here I basically have like directories for all the sections in my application. App, that is like the piece of the application when you're logged into the site. Front is the front side. So at front sites, just let me go to this one. Front sites, and then just components that are used in this section. And I think I still need to move around these ones to their own section. So I'm going to do that after this stream. So mostly I move them I not have like one folder where I group all of these components, but I tend to keep them close to where they are being used. But I don't have like a hard rule on this. I've already missed some of the chat here. So when will you open source the oh dear code? That would basically be a bad business decision. So we're not going to do that right now. Why don't you make an advanced Livewire course? I think there are already some people doing that. Caleb itself has quite a few excellent videos on Livewire, and Povlas Korop is also building his Livewire course, I think. How much workers oh dear use? A lot. It's a beefy machine. Maybe I'll tweet out some of the stats after this stream. Great instructor, thanks. Can you show again the Livewire component render function? I don't know which component that you use, but you meant, but this one, it's just rendering a view. I'll wait for Adrian a bit. I'll check my notes first at what I should cover next. Yeah, how teams are created. That's also a fun one. Impersonating users. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Adrian, I don't see. Don't see any questions, so I'm going to move on. Let's maybe do a light one. So in the old Spark, we had like this kiosk kind of thing. And with this kiosk, what you could do is, yeah, I don't know any other user here now, but what you could do with this is impersonate another user. And if you're working on like a real application with real users and they start sending you support mails and they say, yeah, on my installation, some things are not working. It looks funny. Then you can just add their or specify their email address here and impersonate them. So you see all the application as if they are logged in without having to know their password. And that is pretty great. And in the new ODIR, that functionality is gone. Or in the new Spark, I should say, that functionality is gone because the new Spark is just this window. But you can easily get that functionality back if you use something like Nova. And there's actually a package in a Nova package that allows you to impersonate users. I think if you just Google Nova impersonate, you'll find it. And here, if I click this button, now I'm browsing this whole site as if I'm this user. So if I'm going to profile, you can see that I'm really somebody else here. There's like another team here with a seeded name. This is all seeded data, of course. And you can also easily stop impersonating. And if I go to the application back, there you can see that it's just me again managing the sparsity. So that's pretty easy. Yeah, the personal teams. I was planning to dive into that right now, actually. Let's see. How are we going to start? And I think that is maybe the last thing that I'm going to explain, because I think after that we'll have been talking for an hour. But I'll still take questions if you have any questions. Okay. There's something that I customized in ODIR with the new Spark that works a little bit differently than with default Jetstream. Let me show it to you. I'm going to use, I think, the test application. Yeah, I'm going to explain it in the form of the test application. So let's see how Jetstream default behavior works. So whenever you register at a Jetstream installation that has Teams enabled, you'll get like a personal team where you can do stuff with, and then you can create some other teams. And I think if you're the one creating the team, or you yourself are creating an account and you want to use your personal team, then it's good. Then you only have one team. But if you invite somebody else to your team, somebody that doesn't have an account yet, what happens then by default is that for that person, he or she will create an account, a personal team will be created, and another team will join. So that person will have two teams: a personal team with which he or she will probably do nothing, and like the team that he or she wants. And to add insult to injury, the personal team can't be deleted because reasons, I guess. Okay, let's see how that works. So I have a team here. So team settings, Freek's team, and I'm going to invite somebody else here. Oh, I've already invited somebody. You know what? I'm going to migrate this database as well. I don't need to open it here. I can just Spark tests. Yeah, just nuke it here. And now, after logging in, Yeah. Now there's nobody here. Okay, let's invite somebody. And to see which mails are being sent and to easily handle these mails, I'm going to use Ray. Ray is like a little debug application that I've made. And by default, it will, yeah, I'm not going to go over everything that Ray has to offer, but by default, Laravel will, if you use the log driver, it will render, it will write all sent mails to the log. And what Ray will do is it will display those rendered mails in this window so I can click certain links here. So we can actually see which mails are being sent in Ray by default. If you want to know more about Ray, just go to myray.app. That is the promotional site for this little application. Okay, let's invite somebody. Freek test@spatie.de. Your, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm going to say that's an editor. And here, this mail has been sent to the user. So you have been invited to Freek's team. That could already be better, I guess. If you don't have an account, you may create one by clicking the button below. After creating an account, you may click the invitation acceptance button to accept the team invitation. Okay, let's do that. So I'm going to log out. Wait, I'm going to hide this window. I'm going to log out. I'm going to, oh, I shouldn't log in, but I should to register. Freek member. It was Freek dot test or plus test at spatie.be. Password a password. Oh, should agree with all of that. Register, and you can see I've now created the team, and I have my own team here, and it's a little bit strange because it's Freek's team. I'm going to change the name of the team because otherwise it will get confusing. So this is member team. So this team was automatically created, and let's see what happens now if I press the accept invitation link. Okay, I've accepted the invitation to Freek's team. And now you can see that I have member team and Freek's team. And in member team, there's nothing there because this is like the personal team that I didn't need. And Freek's team, that is actually the team where I was invited to. And if we go to the team settings, you can see that this team can even be deleted. Now let's see how that works in Odir, because in Odir I've improved on this so you don't wind up with invited members having double teams. So let's see how it works here. Let me clean the screen. This is classic Odir. Stripe CLI can shut down some things. Spark test billing. This, oh no, it's not this one. Let me just click the button, the new application. Okay, let's invite somebody here. So I'm going to manage my team. And I'm going to also pick this member. It's maybe a little bit more clearer. Or maybe just member. Member spatie.be, and it's a member. We're going to add it. Mails will be sent. And there's still like this thing where we must create an account and accept an invitation. But create account will behave a little bit different. So let's see what happens there. I'm going to log out here. If I click that button, I just going to go to the register page. Let's see. So here's my name, member. I'm member at spatie.be. I have a password. I'm not going to forget the terms of service. I've also set up the verification, but but if everything is well, we have that mail here as well. So verify email address. So we're now verified. And here you can see that we don't create like a team automatically, but you can also click this link for when you're like inviting to an existing team. So we're not going to create one, we are going to be invited in an existing team. And here we have some copy that explains what you should do. It's very easy. You should just copy the accept invitation link. And we have accepted the invitation to Team Spatie. And if I go to my teams now, this is shown in another way, but the fact that this isn't like a team chooser means that you only have one team. So you don't have like a personal team anymore. You're invited on this team and no extra team was created. Let me show you how it looks like in Odir if you have like separate teams. So a second team, something like that. In Odir, team switcher is here. So here's Team Spatie, here's second team. But you see that during registration, no extra team was made. And every team that this user creates for him or herself, it can also be deleted. So if I delete this team, I hope this works because I haven't tested. And there's something wrong here where I should still take care of. Can I do it? Sites on null current team. There's no current team on the sites controller. For some reason it didn't go to Spatie's team. That's something I should still debug. Okay, let's go to the code and see how we went about this. So, so I guess it starts a little bit with the actions that Jetstream has by default. So let's take a look at a default action of Jetstream. For that, I'm going to go to that Spark test app, that vanilla app with just Jetstream and Spark installed on it and nothing else. And here you can see that by default, there are actions being displayed here. And if a team member is added, I think it's this one. No, it was create new team, I think. I create new user. Yeah, this is the action that is being called by Fortify when you complete the register form by default. And here you can see that whenever a user is being created, this function is called as well, create team. And here you can see that immediately a team is being created for that user, always. So this is when somebody registers. So when somebody registers, they always will have a personal team. And that's something that we don't want. And it's actually pretty easy to avoid that. You just have to modify that action. So let's go to where I've put the 4-5 methods. I've put them in, I think, team actions, fortify, create new user. So this is the same action. And here you can see that that whole team creation part isn't there. So no team is being created. If we take a look at the routes of this application, routes app, yes, you can see that almost every route here is wrapped inside of a middleware called ensure has team. Let's take a look at this one. So if the current owner is not member of any given team, then we are going to redirect to the route create first team, and that's like that that screen where you could create your team. That's where we are going to redirect to. So without a team, you can't use the application. You're always instructed to do this. And as member of a team, that's, I think, a function that I've added myself. That is just the all teams function. This is a function on the user model. It uses the all teams function, which is provided by Jetstream, I guess. And we just say, we just do a count on that. So if you're not member of if you don't have any teams yet, then this returns false, and you can't see any of those routes. You also can't see those create first team things if a user has a team. So this middleware is the opposite. When you already have a team, you shouldn't see like the onboarding of the first team. So ensure has no team is basically the inverse of that. And that's basically, that's the most difficult part. That's all there is to it. So the heart of everything that I wanted to say about this section is that you can just modify these Fortify actions to your liking. I think that these actions are installed into your application as well, and it's pretty easy to make modifications. Okay, I think I've said everything that I want to say. Let me take a look at my list. We're already 1 hour in, and I like to stop after like an hour. I also had invoices generation here, but I'm going to leave that for another day. Let's take a look at Adrian's remark here. If your render function just returned the view and you store your Livewire blade files under just Livewire, you could drop the render function too. Yeah, but I don't like the, thanks for the suggestion, but I don't like to have like one folder with all the Livewire components of the application. I don't know if you noticed, but the Odero application is already quite big, and in order to keep it maintainable, I like to keep code together with other codes that that uses that code. So for views, I tend to keep like components and partials close to where they're being used, and not have like a functional representation like here are all the partials or here are all the Livewire components, but hey, this is a side component, these are the Livewire components that are used on the side component, and so on. Okay, I think that is everything that that I wanted to say. Maybe I should also emphasize that all of these modifications are not yet on the Odero app website itself. We're going to migrate everything to the new Spark somewhere next week. So it will be a little bit exciting because there are quite some changes. I think the last time I looked at the PR, there were 600 files changed. We have those migrations that are running. So it will be pretty exciting. We currently also have like a giveaway that we'll do where we will give away a MacBook Air to one of our users whenever we reach 4 billion checks. So that's explained in that blog post here. And I wanted to really be a little bit lucky and get like 4 billion checks inside of this stream, so I could pick like a winner now. But we're just not there yet. But I think we will be there somewhere tonight. So if you want to have like a chance of being the winner of that MacBook Air, consider using Odero. If you just want to toy around with like the new Spark and with like the new screens next week after we've launched it, feel free to create an account. It's free and you can use everything for 10 days. I think there's a 10-day trial here, no credit card required. So that was a little plug at the end. I hope that you enjoyed this stream, and I'll see you guys and girls and women and whichever pronoun that you'd like to use in the next stream. Bye-bye.